The snow is red. Halfway up a pass no Roman believed crossable, elephants scream against a wind that peels flesh from bone, and men who left Africa months ago claw at ice with fingers they can no longer feel. Below them, boulders dislodge and send entire columns tumbling into gorges so deep the bodies never land within earshot. A general no older than 28 stands at the column's front, not its rear, his one good eye scanning a ridge for Gallic ambush parties, and he does not flinch when another elephant collapses and rolls sideways off the path, taking 6 men with it. He has already done the mathematics of grief. He started with 40,000 soldiers. He will arrive in Italy with 26,000. The deficit is not failure. It is the price of entry into legend. His name is Hannibal Barca, and every step downward from these Alps brings him closer to the throat of the greatest empire the world has ever known. The angle that stops you cold is not the battles. It is the betrayal, not by Rome, but by Carthage itself. Hannibal Barca was a man destroyed, not by his enemy, but by his own civilization, a general so brilliant that his homeland feared him more than the empire he was dismantling. When he was 9 years old, his father Hamilcar made the boy place his hand above a sacrificial flame and swear eternal hatred toward Rome. That oath was not metaphor, it was architecture. Every decision Hannibal made for the next 40 years was a room built inside that burning promise. He was no brute. He spoke Greek, Latin, and several Iberian dialects. He read Homer by campfire and studied Pyrrhus's Italian campaigns until he could recite troop dispositions from memory. He commanded Numidian cavalry, Iberian swordsmen, Gallic infantry, and Balearic slingers, men who shared no language, no God, no flag. And he held them together through charisma so potent that in 16 years of foreign campaigning, not one mutiny was ever recorded. His genius lay in reading men the way a surgeon reads anatomy. He knew where they were weakest before they did. Rome had numbers. Rome had discipline. Rome had roads and legions and the machinery of organized violence perfected over centuries. Hannibal had something Rome could not manufacture. He had the ability to make superior forces destroy themselves. At the Trebia, he baited a Roman consul into crossing a frozen river at dawn, then enveloped him. At Lake Trasimene, he hid an entire army in morning fog and slaughtered 15,000 legionaries in 3 hours. But the masterpiece was Cannae. On an August morning in 216 BC, 86,000 Roman soldiers marched onto a Apulian plain to annihilate the Carthaginian menace once and for all. Hannibal arranged his center in a deliberate convex bulge, placing his weakest Gallic and Iberian troops at the apex. When the Roman infantry smashed into them, the center yielded slowly, beautifully, exactly as planned, bending inward like a bow drawn by a god. The legions surged forward into what they believed was a rout. You are standing in those Roman ranks now, pressing ahead, your shield locked against the man beside you, and the cheering starts because the enemy is breaking. Then the Libyan heavy infantry pivots inward from both flanks. The Numidian cavalry circles behind, and the bow snaps shut. Within hours, 70,000 Romans lie dead in a space the size of a few farmers' fields, stacked so densely that survivors are found the next morning, trapped beneath walls of corpses, still breathing. It was the worst single-day military defeat in Roman history. Hannibal stood 15 days' march from Rome. His officers begged him to advance. He hesitated, and Carthage, his own senate, his own people, refused him reinforcements. They sent the troops instead to Spain, to Sardinia, to everywhere but the one place that mattered. The merchant aristocrats of Carthage feared a victorious general more than a victorious Rome. They starved him of men, money, and siege equipment. For 13 more years he roamed southern Italy, undefeated in the field, winning every battle while losing the war by inches, a wolf circling a city he could see, but never devour. When Scipio landed in Africa and threatened Carthage directly, they recalled him at last. At Zama in 202 BC, he met a Roman who had studied his own tactics, and for the first time he was beaten. Carthage surrendered. Hannibal fled to Syria, to Crete, to Bithynia, always one step ahead of Roman assassins. In a stone room on the coast of modern Turkey, around 183 BC, surrounded at last, he opened a ring he had carried for years, swallowed the poison hidden inside, and spoke his final words. Let us now put an end to the great anxiety of the Romans, who thought it too lengthy and too heavy a task to wait for the death of a hated old man. Rome burned Carthage to ash 50 years later and sowed the ruins with salt. They won everything. Yet 2,000 years on, every military academy on earth still teaches Cannae, and no one remembers the name of the consul who faced him there. What does it mean to break an empire so completely that it never forgives you, and to be broken in return, not by that empire, but by the home you bled for?